Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of my podcast, Live, Laugh, Lily Kincade, with me, your host, Lily Kincade. This is crazy. I have been wanting to do a podcast for so long. I've been talking about it. I have been contemplating it. And last week I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And we're going to be living together. We're going to be laughing together with me, your host, Lily Kincade. So I thought Live, Laugh, Lily Kincade was the perfect name. This is crazy. I'm so giddy right now. I don't know if you can sense it. Maybe you can in my voice. But I'm just so happy to be here. And thank you for listening. I know you just started listening, but this is just this just feels like a new chapter, and I'm very excited to start this. As you guys know, I value mental health and, bettering yourself a lot. Like, I'm a big journaler. I do mental health Monday check-ins over on my Instagram. We've been doing them for the past 2.5 years. And I think this is going to be like the next level that we are taking things in. So I'm very excited to see where this all heads. But every week I'm going to have kind of a different little topic to talk about, to teach you about, that also kind of relates to my life, because I love giving advice. You guys know that. I love giving advice. Sometimes taking it is more challenging, but I love giving advice. And I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to be here. So this is kind of a little intro episode. I'm very excited. In every episode, we're going to have a quote. So we're going to start the episode with a quote that relates to the episode topic. And by now, you know the episode topic because you see it in the title. But the topic for the first ever podcast episode of Live, Laugh, Lily Kincade is how to set healthy expectations. And honestly, I thought this is the perfect first episode topic because I'm starting a new podcast. I'm starting this new chapter, and I want to set healthy expectations for myself, and I want to teach you guys my method. I've taught this to friends. I've taught this to family members, and using this has changed my life so much. But before we get into it, you guys, we have to read the quote. I found this quote last night, and I really love it. It is by Joan Didion, and it is, "To free us from the expectations of others, to give us back to ourselves, there lies the great singular power of self-respect." Period. Anyways, okay, let's get into it. How to set healthy expectations. So expectations truly can make or break you. It can be the reason why you feel really depressed. It can be the reason why you're so sad. And growing up, especially in the music industry, and there's so much comparison, right? There's so much comparison around you that it's so difficult to keep your expectations healthy because you see all these amazing things and you're like, why am I not doing that? Why am I not doing that? And everyone knows comparison is the thief of joy, and it can be very challenging. Like myself, it can be very challenging to not get stuck in that spiral of comparison and expecting to be just as happy as that person, or expecting that. One, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but two, just with social media, we're seeing everybody's life all the time, which can be very challenging and can be very intimidating. And, you can have expectations for something that are outside of your control, and that is when it all starts to go downhill. So I realized this recently, actually probably 6, 7, 8 months ago on my birthday was the first time it really started to click for me, that the reason why you feel let down by things, friends, people, whatever, is because you have placed expectations outside of yourself. So we can't control anything but ourselves, right? We can't control the weather. We can't control how other people act. We can't control the results of something. We can't control anything, but we can control ourselves, and we can control our attitude, our behavior, what we do. And it clicked. For my 22nd birthday this year, I don't know what happened. I just woke up, it clicked, and I was like, you know what? I've had really bad birthdays. I don't know about you guys, but I always it's like birthdays especially. Like, yes, there's other things, but for me, birthdays especially was something that I always would feel let down. I would always feel sad. And like part of that is me being a Pisces, me getting older, me reminiscing, missing childhood, whatever. But another part of that is like I feel like I had these expectations, and even if they weren't spoken, even if they were just thoughts in my head, I always felt let down on my birthdays. I was like, why do I feel so sad? Like it always felt like I don't know. It never felt good. I never felt good. I would always cry. I mean, I always cry anyways, happy tears. But I would always be like, and then I'm like, am I ungrateful because I have these people, but I don't feel, why are my expectations like this? And I came up with this little method. I mean, it's not really a method. It kind of is a little method. But I was like, you know what? I need to state my expectations. And if I do these things, I'm going to consider it a good birthday. I'm not allowed to beat myself up. I'm not allowed to cry. I'm not allowed to complain because you know what? No, if I do this, which I can make happen, then it's going to be a good birthday. Yes, life is going to throw curveballs at us. Like, we can't control the crazy things that happen in life, and that's okay. But if you can set your expectations that you can control before, it will change everything. So, for example, talking about my birthday. So this year, all this stuff about expectations really clicked for me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to write down my birthday expectations. And if I do these, I'm going to feel great. I'm going to feel great. And I did them. And I'm going to tell you, this like sparked this changed everything, you guys. This changed everything. So for my birthday, I was like, okay, I have bad birthdays. What do I want to do this year? I thought about it, sat down, I journaled for a little bit. Can do a whole nother episode about journaling. Let me know in the comments and below. Anyways, okay, this is so fun. Oh my God, this is so fun. This is so fun. But I was like, okay, what do I want to do on my birthday? One, I wanted to go to either the sunrise or the sunset. I love the beach. I was like, that is something for me that just feels very healing. I want to do that on my birthday. So I wrote it down as something I wanted to do. I was like, I want to eat my favorite food. Wrote that down. And then one of them was, I want to do some sort of physical activity, whether that be going on a hike or roller skating. I want to do that. And then the last thing I wrote down, like what makes a good birthday to me on this list basically, was I wanted at some point to get dressed up with my friends and like look cute and put on makeup and like, you know, just have fun with friends. I love like the getting ready process, like drinking some champagne, blasting 22, Taylor's version of course. And those are my things on my list. And what I did was I planned it out. So my friends and I got a group of my best girlfriends together. We went roller skating. We went to the sunrise. I woke them up and made them go to the sunrise in Santa Monica. And then we got ready, did our makeup, and we went out dancing that night and ate my favorite food in the world and had my favorite gluten-free vegan cake and my favorite vegan Thai food. And it was amazing. And it was just awesome. It was like one of the best birthdays I've ever had. I felt really good, all because I had stated my expectations beforehand. And yeah, life could throw curveballs. I could get stuck in traffic. Something crazy could happen. But you know what? That's okay, because we can't control that, you know? But doing that, it just changed my whole mindset. I know this sounds silly, but I'm telling you, like, this changes everything. Say, for example, you know, with music, me being a musician, which also, there could be people here who are randomly stumbling across this who don't know that I'm an artist. And if you haven't heard of me, welcome to the Kincadian family. That is the name my sweet little fans chose for themselves, I think about 2 years ago, which is wild. Like, some of you guys have been with me for almost 3 years. But yeah, I'm a songwriter, I'm a musician, I'm an artist, I'm a soon-to-be international superstar. But I have a bunch of music out, 2 EPs. I'm slowly releasing the songs off my first ever album currently. But yeah, you can stream that music everywhere. Everything's going to be on my socials, on my music. Everything will be linked down below in the description. Yay, this is so fun. But what I was going to say is, like, with music, a big thing for me was managing expectations. You know, music industry can definitely be crazy because you can expect so much and you can feel so let down. Like, I remember when I first started releasing music, I would get so upset if it didn't have a certain number of streams. I would feel like I wasn't good enough. I would feel like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, I would feel embarrassed. I would feel bad about myself. I would just beat myself down. It's that comparison game once again. And I like got to a point where I was like, you know what? I can't control how many streams a song gets. I can't control if people like a song or not. And me trying to control it, it's like you're just chasing something that you're never going to get. You know, I can't control how people like a song. I truly can't. But what I can control is if I like the song. I can control if it sounds the best, if I put enough effort into it. I can control. Also, yes, my strap just came undone. That's okay. That's okay. We're rolling with the punches. See? We're rolling with it. We're rolling with it. We're rolling with it. We're not going to let it bother us. That's okay. But like, I can control, you know, the effort I put into it. I can control the cover art. I can control, you know, the promotion I do. And that's about it. You know, I can't control the outcome of things. And for me with music, it used to really get me down. I would feel very jealous of my friends who were, you know, on these crazy playlists. I would feel like I wasn't good enough if it wasn't getting enough streams, etc. And I had this realization where I it's just crazy because I don't know. I think it's just part of growing up. But I had this realization where I was like, you know what? I can't control the outcome. And so I switched my mindset and was like, you know what? I'm going to control everything that I can control, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And let me just tell you, releasing music now has been a whole different ballgame. It has been a whole different ballgame because now I truly feel even more confident because I know that I'm giving it my all, if that makes sense, right? Like for me, say, for example, so I always say 3 things for every like task or everything you're doing. It could be, I'll give you some examples later of how you're going to use this in your own life. But for me, like say releasing a song, what I do to set healthy expectations is I pick 3 or 4 things that if I do these things, I'm going to consider it a success. I'm not going to wait to see what the outcome is to consider it a success. I'm going to set my expectations healthily, things in my control. I'm going to do those things to the best of my ability. And if I do those things, it's a success. And I'm not allowed to wallow in comparison and feel bad and feel like I need to keep chasing something, you know? So when I'm releasing a song, usually I'm like, okay, is it a song I love? I can't control if other people love it, but I can control if I like it. So if I like it, surely there has to be other people out there that like it. Not that it matters, but you know, we're all human. We all have the same emotions. So 1, if I like the song, it's a success. So that's usually one of my expectations. Another one would be like, I love the cover art. I pick the cover art that I like. I really like it. I feel confident in it. I can't control if other people are going to like it, but if I like it, it's a success. And the third thing would be like the quality of it sounds so good and it's to the best of my abilities and I'm really proud with the writing, which is something I can control. So by doing that, whenever I release a song, I'm not waiting to see if it gets on a Spotify editorial playlist to like feel good enough, you know? And I know it sounds silly, but like sometimes we don't think about these little things and it really does make a huge difference. So, okay, rant over. That was a little rant. I just get so excited talking about this because I honestly I feel like your guys' big sister a lot, which I'm honored to be your big sister, but I sometimes wish I had somebody like that was kind of telling me these things. And so that's why I genuinely get so like, I talk really fast because I get so excited to share this with you guys because I just wish I had somebody who was telling me all of this when I was younger and when I was going through it. But you know, now I'm kind of figuring it out and sharing with you guys as I figure it out, which also is cool because we're living, we're laughing, we're learning together. But yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, expectations are really like, it's like comparison and expectations are the root of all unhappiness, I believe. I truly think so because it's things out of our control. Truly, like other people, comparison, out of our control. Expectations that we can't control are out of our control. Anyways, okay. Now, I want to give you guys some examples of how you can apply this to your own life. And yeah, I hope it helps you. I hope it helps you out. One thing I wanted to do was, the reason why I picked expectations for this topic was because I wanted to set some expectations for this podcast. I can't believe I'm doing a podcast. I kind of feel like I was always doing a podcast because I literally talk to myself all day, like just out loud. Like, do you ever do that? Don't lie. I know you do that. Like when I was younger, I used to pretend I was a makeup YouTuber, like MUA era, makeup artist era. And I'd be like, okay, you guys, first we're going to do the eyeshadow. Like I would be like talking to myself in the mirror out loud and no one was there and there was no camera. And that's what I feel like a podcast is. And I love this. And I hope you love it too. Anyways, okay, the expectations for my podcast. I made a list last night because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to beat myself up. The podcast, whoever is hearing this is meant to hear it and people will find it at the right time. I can't control who is listening to Live, Laugh, Lily Kincade, but all the cool people are. So if you're listening to this, you must be cool. But I made my expectations for my podcast and it is, I'm authentic. I remain authentic and I always say what I really mean instead of saying what I think you guys want to hear or saying what I think I should say. No, I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be Lily Kincade because you know what? There's nobody else like me in the world. And that is actually my superpower. We should do another episode about that, about being yourself, because all the things that make you weird, you guys, I've learned this growing up, especially in the music industry. All the things that you think are like weird, oh my God, I need to hide this. I need to like cover this up. That is literally your superpower. Like I'm whispering because it's that special. It's that important. That is your superpower. We'll go into that later. But yeah, number 1 for my expectations for my podcast, I remain authentic. Number 2, I remain honest. I don't, lie or embellish things or, I'm going to be honest because I'm going through life with you guys. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I do not know what I'm doing. You guys, I don't know what I'm doing. And I think that's beautiful. Think about if we knew everything we were doing, how boring would that be? If we literally knew exactly how life was going to go, wouldn't you be bored? Wouldn't you be tired? Wouldn't you just be like, oh, this is so annoying? It's kind of fun that, we don't know what's happening. So I'm going to always remain honest. And my third expectation for my podcast is the sound video quality is the best I can produce, which is why you see me with my SM7B microphone and my headphones. I actually use this to record vocals when I'm writing. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I could just use the MacBook microphone. But I was like, you know what? No. My podcast listeners deserve high quality because they are high quality people. They deserve high quality. So that is my little expectations list for the podcast. And I usually say, like, just pick three things. And if you do those 3 things, it's a success. There could be 1 person listening to this. There could be 2. If I didn't have those and I was expecting this podcast to blow up and I was expecting millions of listeners right away, of course I'm going to feel let down because that's not going to happen. But was I authentic? Was I honest? Did I make sure the video and the audio sounded really good? Yes. So then I feel good. Another example would be, say you had a big assignment or a big project or a big test for school or work. You cannot wait for the outcome because you need to set your expectations in advance. Like we said, things you can control. So 3 things, if I theoretically had a project or a thing, here's what I would do. I would say, 1, I studied as hard as I could. Like I gave it my all. I spent the time studying. I can't control what grade I'm going to get, but I can control how hard I work. So I'm going to study for X amount of time. It could be, I'm going to study 1 hour every single day. I'm going to study 2 hours every single day. I'm going to study 10 minutes every day, whatever it is. Number 2 would be, whatever pertains to you. So number 2 would be like, if you were presenting something or it was a big test, I feel confident and I make sure I'm wearing something that makes me feel confident the day of the test or the day of the presentation. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I was in school, like, I do better sometimes when I get dressed up. It sounds silly, but even now I'm literally in my living room floor. I'm in my living room floor in Nashville, like surrounded by my record player and my records and my books. And I was like, you know what? I want to put on glitter eyeshadow. So I put on purple glitter eyeshadow because it makes me feel more confident. And it sounds silly, but that's something I would definitely put on my list, was like wearing something that makes me feel confident. And like a third expectation I would have is to be, say it was a presentation where I had to be off, like memorized. I couldn't use note cards or whatever. I would be like, I want to be memorized. I want my presentation to be memorized. And if I did those 3 things, I would consider it a success and I wouldn't let myself dwell on the outcome. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. You guys have to let me know. This is so fun. You guys have to let me know, of course, in the comments below and also on my Instagram. Everything's going to be linked, but please let me know. And also, this is for us. This is for you guys. This is us having a conversation. This is us talking. So if there's ever anything you want advice on or things you're like, Lily, I would love for you to just like talk about this for 20 minutes as a podcast episode, please let me know because of course I would love that. So any suggestions, any questions, anything you want to see or learn about, ask me, okay? All you have to do is ask. That should be another episode. But yeah, so the key to setting healthy expectations is to set expectations that are in your control, narrow it down, and then let it go when it's done. Let it go when it's done. Because in the end, I feel like the outcome, yes, we can't control the outcome, but sometimes it's like we don't get the outcome we wanted, but it turns out to be in our favor. Like I even think about this a lot of the time. An example would be a lot of my music, I've been doing music. I'm 22 now, but I've been writing since I was a little kid. Literally, I have videos of me when I was like 5 writing songs. But I moved to California when I was 14 to start pursuing songwriting and my craft full time. I did online high school and, it's been a long journey. And has it been hard? Have I doubted myself? Yes, but to be honest, it's exactly what I loved, and I feel so lucky that I do know my passion and have known my passion for the longest time at such a young age that it's worth it. Like all the nights alone, all the sacrifices, it all ends up being worth it for me. But I think about now, getting to make my first album and having the best team and having the best producers and writers around me and you guys even, like you finding my music. If this would have happened to me, say when I was 15, 16, I don't think I would have been ready. I didn't know myself. I didn't know my writing. I didn't know who I was. And did I want to be famous and have my music everywhere when I was 16? Yes, but I'm glad that outcome didn't happen because the outcome always happens at the right time. So what you do is just give it your all, set your healthy expectations for whatever you're going into, and trust that, everything will work out when it's meant to work out, and you just have to keep going no matter what. And yeah, that is the key to setting healthy expectations. This has been so fun. Seriously, I can't believe we just did the first ever Live, Laugh, Lily Kincade podcast. This is crazy. I'm just gonna like post the episode when it's out and be like, surprise, I'm doing a podcast. But yeah, make sure to leave any suggestions, topics you want me to cover, questions. Should I do like an episode a month that's kind of like a Ask Lily or Q&A? Let me know. Or like you guys could write in with your problems. I don't know what it's going to be, but this is very exciting. Share it to your friends, send it to your friends, and welcome if you are new to the Kincadian family. All my music, everything will be linked below. And this is so exciting. I'm going to be releasing episodes for the foreseeable future every Monday. Kind of ties in with like, you know, my mental health Monday check-ins that I do. But yeah, I hope you love this episode so much. I just thank you for being here with me. And this is crazy. We're going to close off with, I'll actually give you the story behind this. Okay, so you guys know that I say this little kind of like mantra mindset thing all the time. And it's today's wonderful day, blah, 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 blah. We're going to go over it in a second. But I want to tell you the story behind that because one of my favorite years of school was second grade. It was the best year. I had the best teacher ever, Mrs. Goncher. She really inspired me to start writing and growing in creativity, just everything. Like she has, like my childhood piano is at her house in Kansas City because we sold our childhood house that was there years ago. But she would make us say this mindset, this little mantra thing every single day. And I have it printed out in my bedroom in California and I have it printed out in my apartment here in Nashville. And I say it all the time because truly, like anytime I'm frustrated, anytime I literally say this, and it truly does. It sounds silly and it sounds stupid, but I'm telling you, everything is in the mind. Like truly, everything is in the mind. But yeah, that's the story. And my second grade teacher, Mrs. Goncher, was like encouraging me to spread it on. So now I'm spreading it on to you guys. And we're going to say it. Well, I'll say it once and then I'll say it again so we can all say it together. But it's, today is a wonderful day. I am confident because I am a problem solver. I always have options because I choose to be optimistic. Today I will learn something new, laugh, and make a difference in someone else's life. Okay, let's say it one more time. Ready? Today is a wonderful day. I'm confident because I am a problem solver. I always have options because I choose to be optimistic. Today I will learn something new, laugh, and make a difference in someone else's life. Thank you guys for listening. I love you so much. Make sure to follow this podcast on Spotify. I'm also going to put the full video on YouTube. I'm going to put it everywhere. We're putting it everywhere. We are taking over. The Kincadians are rising. Yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next episode.